Okay, so we'll start with the roll call.
Amalia Benson,
David Ramirez.
Eliza Vasquez, Aida Rodriguez,
David Betancourt.
Ruben Obel.
Thank you. This is a notice of a public meeting of the Planning and Zoning Commission of the City of Brownsville.
pursuant to Chapter 555, Title 5 of the Texas Government Code. The Texas Open Meeting Act notice is hereby given that the Planning and Zoning Commission of the City of Brownsville, Texas, has scheduled a regular meeting today, Thursday, September 4th of 2025 at 5:30 p.m. in the Commission chambers on the second floor of Brownsville City Hall, Old Federal Building located at 1001 East Elizabeth Street, Brownsville, Cameron County, Texas, 7520. Pursuant to Section 551.127 Texas Government Code, one or more commissioners or employees may attend this meeting remotely using video conference technology. The video and audio feed of the video conferencing equipment can be viewed and heard by the public at the address posted above. At the location of this meeting, the information is provided on the agenda. And this, we initiate with the regular meeting today at 5:30 p.m. with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Do we have updates and comments?
Yes, today's updates and comments are, we basically want to introduce two new members to our team, Mr. Carlos Guerra and Mr. Samuel Nunez. Both of them senior planners. Mr. Carlos Guerra will be assisting us with leading the comprehensive plan, and Mr. Samuel Nunez will be helping us leading the housing plan. So we're very glad to have them on board, and any questions that you may have, they're here to help you.
Welcome, gentlemen.
Additionally, we would like to point out, and you already got an email, but just as a reminder, there will be a special meeting on September 18th for a project that will be heard regarding a hotel that's being proposed by Spring Mart Boulevard. This would be specific to the Embassy Suites that is being proposed in that area.
The next update on the agenda is approval of the minutes for the regular meeting of August 7th of 2025.
I'll make a motion to approve. Second.
We have a first and a second motion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Next is presentations. We have one item, Downtown Renaissance Master Plan presentation by the Planning and Redevelopment Director and our Downtown Manager.
Oh, yeah, we.
Good afternoon, Commission. My name is Daniel Leal, Director of Planning and Redevelopment Services. And I think we're trying to get a PowerPoint ready. But in the meantime, we have started, basically this is the first formal introduction of this Renaissance plan, Downtown Renaissance plan to you all as a planning oversight board that you are. And I want to introduce the team who is gonna lead these efforts and basically what the next steps are gonna be and the timeline and how you can get involved into this. So the project manager from the city side is Mr. Alan Garces. He's the downtown manager. And we retain the services of Fries and Nichols through a request for proposals. And Fries and Nichols had plenty of experience in the Valley, and they are the authors of our Unified Development Code. And Caitlin Admire is the project manager on their side. So Caitlin is actually going to start the presentation.
Thanks, Daniel. Good evening, commissioners. Thank you for having us. Again, my name is Caitlin Admire. I'm a project manager with Fries and Nichols. We are the consultant engineering and planning design firm helping the city with your new Downtown Renaissance Master Plan. So a little bit about what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to talk about a little bit why Brownsville, why invest in, why focus on Brownsville's downtown. We'll talk about some of the activity that's been happening already, kind of organically, the investment that's been going on. We'll talk about the goals, purpose, scope, and timeline of the project, so an overview of the project and what you can expect from the project, and a summary of what we've been hearing from the outreach so far from the constituents that have been giving us the feedback on the plan. And yeah, perfect, thank you. So first is the why downtown? Why are we focusing on downtown? Why think about downtown? Why invest in downtown as the city? So first and foremost, downtown is the center of quality of life for most cities. It is that place that if you say, meet me in Brownsville, people picture the downtown, right? And through public spaces, placemaking, connectivity to the rest of town, we really are trying to put downtown Brownsville on the path to be this regional destination for arts, culture, tourism, and commerce. So really that heart of not just Brownsville, but actually the region. And in order to do that, we want to look at attracting and retaining new businesses, economic vitality strategies, and retail recruitment, which is kind of the typical economic development kinds of things you think about, right? But also we're going to look at the public realm and think about walkability and sustainability and housing diversity for multiple life stages, so affordable mixed income options in downtown to really bring what we call that 18-hour city to downtown, where we're having people and thriving businesses and vitality happening kind of all the time, just that really activated feeling. And really what the point is to strengthen the investments that are already being done, making sure those are successful, increasing their impact, and then setting the city up for additional investment in downtown, whether that's the city's investment, other public entity investment, or the private sector investments, really creating that environment that people want to invest in long-term. And so Alan's going to talk a little bit about what's been going on.
Commissioners, good afternoon. Nice to see y'all. For those that don't know me, my name is Alan Garces. I'm the downtown manager, as Mr. Leal introduced me earlier. Just wanted to talk to you a little bit about what's happening downtown, some of the projects that I've been involved in my time here as downtown manager. I did want to share some of the things that we've been doing this past week. As a matter of fact, we just finished our last meeting with stakeholders of the artists, those that participate in arts in downtown, or that are from Brownsville, or that just overall have some sort of art background and have participated, whether in Brownsville or in downtown. We've met with different stakeholders, such as property owners and business owners earlier today as well. And we've been meeting with different members of our community to get their feedback. But what I wanted to share with you on what's been going on downtown is some of the activity that we've been seeing in downtown. Yes, when we think of downtown, we do think of the downtown core, Elizabeth, Washington, Adams, et cetera. But we are also looking at big picture. Some of the activity that we worked on recently was the Brownsville Museum of Fine Arts, how that ended up transferring over to the city. And we did an RFI for that, and ultimately City Commission and granted the former Museum of Fine Arts to the Midi District, and now it's going to become a cultural center, and they've been working on that. They actually have been talking to the building department about submitting permits about a lot of the renovations that they're going to be doing. And on the bottom left, you'll see some of the schematics as to how it's going to look like as you enter the building. The cannery is something that we've been working on as well. It's a little bit delayed construction-wise, but that's technically going to house the farmers market. We have that every Saturday, but what we're looking at doing now is have an activation Monday through Saturday, not just on the weekends, right? So that area is being renovated, is being fixed up, and it's going to house not only a farmer's market, but local farmers, and going to have a commercial kitchen, areas for people to be able to get their groceries as well, because as we know, we did lose our HEB. We're looking at other options. And then the bottom middle section there, that UTRGV rendering is, they recently purchased the former Longoria Elementary from BISD. So that's going to be remodeled into the fine arts department there. So it's very close to the campus. We're very excited about that. We actually met with UTRGV, and that's their number one priority for Brownsville, is to get that online and get that running. And of course, the zoo, major stakeholder within the downtown, and they activated their zip line, which is one of the first priority projects that they had when they did their master plan a few years ago. Next slide, please. Of course, we see a lot of the businesses, right, that are coming up. There's a lot of activity. I don't know if I mentioned this, but the downtown plan is not just called the downtown plan. It's the Downtown Renaissance Master Plan, and that was done really strategically by commission, as we've started to see more activity happening downtown, whether those that have been here, like Hueso, or we're starting to see more new places to open up, like Joli Petit or Pluton or La Rev. We're starting to see interest in downtown. We know that activity is happening downtown, and we want to capitalize on this momentum, right? We also not only have bars and restaurants. I know that's one of the more popular uses that we get downtown, but we also get retail like JCD, who, congrats to them, they scored a collaboration with Brooks Running, and I'm not sure if you're familiar with that, but they were able to design their own shoes with Brooks and sold their shoes downtown. And I actually went up to Seattle and had a marathon up there with their collaboration. So that's coming out of downtown. And then just to go back really quick, I know you guys are familiar with Las Ramblas and how their chef was able to get nominated for another James Beard Award. So again, this is coming out of our local talent out of downtown Brownsville. The reason why I wanted to share with you some of the activity that's happening is because part of my role is to help the business owners downtown when they come in looking for how do I start a business, or who do I need to talk to, or how can you help me with permits, or who if I can't help them, I'll get them with someone who can. So it's really exciting to see some of the activity that's going on now, especially as someone who's Brownsville born and raised, and who my mom actually worked downtown when I was younger, right? So getting to see that since I was like this tall to about right now, it's very exciting. It definitely means a lot. I'm very honored to work for my city. Of course, the activation of First Friday in downtown, has been growing. It started in 2019 with the collaboration between business owners. They bootstrapped this initiative. Unfortunately, COVID shut that down, but the city knew that there was potential there to make something happen. It's gotten to the point where we're able to bring even more popular artists, right? We of course have local talent showcase in the beginning portion of the First Friday, where they have the band opening now. But we used to have a small little stage that we put together, and now we're able to have a whole production. If you look at that middle picture there, that is when we brought the Spasmatics down, and that was over 38,000 people that we were able to bring downtown for that month. So where you see anywhere for that First Friday, we're seeing activity from 2,400 to about 38 being our highest. So we're tracking that information. We're using that to possibly get more funding for next fiscal year. And we're just very excited about how something started from the business owners putting that together and being resilient to now teaming up with the city to making this event happen. And we've actually gotten a lot of feedback about First Friday and how the business owners, the artists, how they're really excited about this, and how we can have opportunities to work together to collaborate to maybe even expand outside of Market Square. But we've been very fortunate to have something so amazing like this. The other fun stuff is the projects themselves, where I work with other departments, city manager's office, on projects that involve buildings or working with the housing authorities, such as El Jardín. We actually toured El Jardín not too long ago, and they're expected to have their first residents by mid-October. So touring that place is it's an amazing, I'm not sure if you guys haven't seen it, but I'll make sure to share some pictures with you guys if you want to see some. But they've been doing some awesome work, and we're very excited to have housing finally in downtown. We do have a good amount of projects that are residential, that are housing related, right? We want people here in downtown. So the fact that we have El Jardín coming online, the Samano coming online, we also have some former apartments that, or a motel that are now going to be apartments. The Cameron Hotel is being renovated. So there's a lot of opportunities downtown, not only for the commercial aspect, but for the residential. And of course, UTRGV did purchase the Majestic. We are looking and working with them on how they can turn that into their performing arts center. On the city side, that was more on the private side. But on the city, some of the projects we recently we worked on was the new parking stations, the city renovation at Market Square in San Fernando. If you go to Market Square, you will see a building that's fenced in. The city's working on that to work with artists and the Brownsville Historic Association to turn that into a museum. Of course, it's super busy downtown. You'll see the scaffolding, you'll see some of the closed streets, you'll see the gravel. We are opening up streets to update our water and wastewater. That's about a $14.5 million project that's currently in process. We hope to finish early next year, hoping, fingers crossed, because I understand it's a pain, especially to the business and property owners. And of course, we're still working on Excella and working on a permitting system and getting new staff members. And of course, the First Friday and the Downtown Passport program that we recently launched, where we encourage people to move downtown through that passport program, scan your QR code, you get points. Once you get all these points, right, you're able to get merchandise, from the city or a t-shirt or logo, just to, promote that walkability downtown, promote our downtown. And it's just, I'm just very excited to share with you some of these activities that we've been doing downtown myself, and along with our marketing department and Commissioner Visitors Bureau, working alongside our Public Works Department. It's just, it's a very exciting time to be downtown. And I think the Downtown Renaissance Master Plan is going to help us create that roadmap, create the priorities of what the property owners and business owners, all these different types of stakeholders, and what they want to see. So it's bring that together, right? Not hodgepodge different things, but putting together and showing that to y'all, to the commission, and having those priorities outlined, right? So I believe that closes it for me. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, we'll be back and I'll come back.
Thank you, Alan. So I'm going to dive a little into the goals and intent of this plan. So basically, these have been goals set by the City Commission, and they're going to be rephrased a little based on the community input we are just starting to get. But we want to have a more intentional, more intention and organization around downtown priorities. We want to coordinate and clarify our downtown investments, because now they fall into different departments, and that's normal, but this plan will realign all those departments and their priorities. A cohesive plan that knits together all the unique parts of downtown into a holistic experience. You will see, do we have the map here? I'm not sure if we have the map, but it's an extended area. Study is very big. It's going from international to almost Mexico Boulevard to the south, to the highway, and basically Palm Street with some extension to Central Boulevard. So it's a very broad concept of downtown for two reasons: because we want to integrate historic neighborhoods that are now becoming downtown. And second, as Caitlin said, we are thinking on this downtown to be the downtown of Lower Valley, the lower Rio Grande Valley. So, and that's how we want to market it in the future, actually. We want to harmonize new and old. We have one of the largest stocks in historic properties here in Brownsville, but we also want to appeal to younger generations and investors who want to put their offices here. So we have to be careful on how can we harmonize the two. And we want to provide guidance to the CIP planning. These are the capital improvement projects from the city, and again, promote historic and cultural preservation. So this is kind of the reporting structure of how we are engaging with a lot of people. So the City Commission, of course, is the ultimate voice to approve this plan. And but before that, it will be presented to you, the Planning and Zoning Commission, as the recommending body. We're working with the City Manager's Office as well. The project team is, as mentioned, the people I just introduced. But we're also casting a broad net. We will be hosting public events, and which these are open to the public, whoever shows up. We just meet them on where they are, not where we want them to be, but where they are. We will be having more targeted stakeholder meetings, like we've been 3 days meeting with people, and tomorrow there will be more. That's property and business owners, community serving nonprofits, cultural, historic, and tourism MPOs, city staff and departments, local artists, higher education institutions, and jurisdictional partners like the county or the federal government. And we also have a mixed perspective group, which is like a representational group of all those because it's important to dig into things in detail, which we can accomplish through the stakeholder meetings, but sometimes it's also important to bring different perspectives so people hear from others, like the perspective of a business owner may be very different than the one from an artist. And we want that to ensure that everybody understands every other person's point of view. This is the project timeline, about 12 months. The adoption is meant to be, yes, in the summer 2026. So we are there in the first Planning and Zoning Commission, you can see, in September. And we are working in the analysis and vision of the plan. Then we will be able to put together some recommendations. And when we hit the implementation phase, so when we have a fuller plan, we will be coming back to Planning and Zoning Commission and then the City Council. You can see that all scattered around the timeline. There are those stakeholder meetings, the design charrette, which is like an intense workshop, and also public events. The public outreach is again gonna be massive, and we want to be deliberate on making sure that it's everybody's downtown, including the people who doesn't live in downtown right now. So we had that kickoff meeting in August 1st at BIC. We'll be going to Farmers Market, the Brownsville Appreciation Day at the Zoo tomorrow, actually. We'll be going to Beer Fest in October. We're engaging in tabling events at UTRGV, TSC, and UHSP, well, the Health University. We will definitely be present at Dia de los Muertos first Friday, Christmas tree lighting ceremony at Market Square, Charro Days, Space Fest, and other pop-up events in districts 1, 2, and 3. And some of those events will be hosted with Freese and Nichols, but others will be carried by the planning department staff and volunteers. We're recruiting a lot of internal volunteers. So we want to hear from you. This is when you come to tell us some of your feedback, and Caitlin is going to manage that.
All right, so we're happy to take any general questions that you have for us. I will also point out that this QR code goes to our project website, where we do have a live survey open for any of you, anyone in the audience, anyone listening. Please go take our survey. The website URL is also btxdowntownrenaissance.com. So with that, again, we'll take any questions that you have, but also we have these 3 prompt questions that would be really helpful for us to understand from you guys. What are your expectations or needs as a P&Z commissioner for this process? How might you define success of this plan and or process? And what my favorite question always to ask any group is, what is the one thing that you would like to see done in downtown Brownsville? If you had a magic wand, you could just do one thing, what would that be?
More parking.
Parking.
But you are not alone in that opinion, yes.
Parking and security.
And security, okay, yep. We've heard those repeated a lot in our last 3 days of meetings.
Does anybody want trolley?
That would be cool.
So we've been hearing trolleys at every meeting that we've had, so I'd be surprised.
Yeah, completely unprompted. It has come up in every single stakeholder meeting that we've had, has been.
Well, did the city not have one back in the day?
Yeah, it did, yeah. And so people are it's a nostalgic thing, but also a functional thing for mobility.
So the little bus that's going around downtown, how is that going? What kind of feedback, what kind of use?
So that was awesome. That was a great initiative that we were able to launch with multimodal department. The most feedback that we've been getting is that it's great for the core, but for those that maybe want to explore further north, maybe like towards the zoo, or maybe a little bit more out closer to the expressway, they wish they could probably have a bit larger route, which is something that I'm talking to Jeannie at multimodal so that we can look at that, because right now it looks like a 3-minute route. But if we go a little bit further north, we would probably do like 7 to 10. But it's definitely something that we want to continue. The other feedback that we're getting is that we're trying to hopefully get it throughout the week, but we don't think that's feasible right now based on rider share. So it looks like right now we're keeping it Thursday through Saturday with the possibility and more than likely to expand it further north.
One concern I had was, when I came downtown, the long line going to Mexico was blocking traffic. And that was just, I was just stuck there waiting for them to move so I could get through so we could go have dinner. So again, my thing is the parking and the security. I mean, we need to have more security downtown and pick up the lights, because there was a couple of lights that were out, and again, that's security. So those are my two main concerns: enough parking and security for people to walk around and feel safe.
And we've heard some good feedback too on those kinds of things. People are really interested in seeing, like, meet the baseline expectations of parking, security, things like that, and then start thinking about the really big ideas as well. But like, you've got to have that baseline stuff met, right? So yeah, that's something we definitely hear.
Another concern I have is, if you look at all your photos, they're all adult type features, items, events. How about family oriented type events? I mean, like, we have many people who like to come downtown and bring their kids. What's for them?
Right, so we are partnering with the Parks and Rec Department to join them at events that they're already doing and other areas outside of downtown. So that's absolutely in the works. This slide was kind of submitted before we could plan with Sean and Laura at Parks and Rec, but we are planning to go to parks and events and other pop-ups that they already have. So we will go to them when they already have something going on.
And also, as I mentioned, tomorrow we're going to be the whole day at the zoo. The Christmas celebration is deliberate, targeted to kids. So some of those events are for kids. And actually, we're going to have specific activities for kids, like design your ideal downtown, or things to draw and, visualize, a more visual type of engagement with them. Mm-hmm.
I personally would like to see it more walkable and opportunity for us to ride our bikes where it would be safe to ride your bike downtown. I do have two questions. How are we funding First Fridays? How is that being funded now?
We've been given grants through a foundation.
And the CELA training is going on, I understand. How is that going?
So this is a full review of the department. Yes, the Axela training has been going well. I think, yes, we had it in the last 2 weeks, and we're having another 2 events next week and the following week. It's about Axela, but also about a software called GWiz. We probably want to present here in this forum as well, once that is fully implemented. But GWiz, what it does is that it's like an interface, a more friendly interface to Axela. So it asks you questions, very simple questions. And while you're answering those questions, it's filling that information into Axela. So once you're done, pretty much 2/3 of the application is already ready. So that became actually live a couple of days ago, but we're going to continue to train the public on that.
And how are we publicizing the trainings?
Right now, it was kind of a email. We have email and direct phone calls to developers, realtors, is my understanding, and frequently users of our services. Maybe Martin, you can expand on that.
I'm going to attend the one on the 12th, but someone told me about it. I didn't know that we were having that.
Sure, for the past 2 weeks, we've been having sessions both Wednesdays and Thursdays. The Wednesday session is more of a broad and generalized explanation of the new platform, or the new view of the platform, because Axela has already existed. However, the view of it or the interface of it has changed. With the Thursday session, it was more of a one-on-one session where we divided groups we divided the day into 4 different sessions, one for realtors, one for engineers, one for designers, and one for contractors. And we had a pretty good turnout where each group went and provided feedback from their own eyes and from their own experience based on what each group does and what is specific to them. So that gave us pretty good feedback as to how to tweak it. And that's what we've been doing. And so, yes, my understanding is we will continue, our SLA manager will continue having these sessions for the public.
Okay, thank you.
Madam Chair, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
So this is specifically to city staff. So where do you see downtown? Where do you see downtown? What do you want to see in downtown besides the presentation? And can we get there? And when will it be complete? Because we've been talking about revitalizing downtown Brownsville for years, right? We've been, the city spent, and BCIC and God knows who else, engineering companies, consulting companies have spent money on studies. And here we are again. So when are we going to get there? What can we expect?
So yes, well, downtown Brownsville has already done a lot of progress, right? And not being from downtown, from Brownsville myself, I can tell you have a pretty good downtown. And that was one of the reasons that attracted me to this job, because, I see the potential. It's true that long-range plans like this one are called like that because their horizon is really large, 10, 20 years. And it's true that planners tend to believe that everything is the new Bible, but truth is that just because you put something in a plan, it's not going to happen just like that. So what it comes later is a set of priorities and a search for funding for each of those items, and that can take several years. But I do see momentum. The Brownsville is attracting major employers like SpaceX and the liquid natural gas company, and we are attracting some tourists in partnership with South Padre Island as well. The zoo and all the other regional magnets are playing their role. So I do see a lot of potential in downtown. It's gonna be a mix of growing pains, and again, it's hard because it comes, many instances have to do with private property. You cannot force somebody to develop a property, and there's a lot of vacant land or people sitting on land in downtown. So I'm not gonna promise you anything that is not reasonable, but it's better to aim high, aim for the moon, and aim for Mars and get to the moon, rather than not having high expectations and not getting anything done, right? For example, affordable housing. The affordable housing entities need for their properties to be within the boundaries of established plan in order to get funding from HUD. So after this, like the Bugambillas area will be in that position. So they will be better off to apply for HUD money. We don't know if they will be granted or not, but they will never be granted if they're not in a plan. So that's what I mean. It's always good to have those high expectations because it helps pushing you for more funding and more support. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree with you, Madam Chair, and I think you've seen the progress over the years here in downtown. I remember when I was a little boy, walking through here with my parents and shopping. Then things went dormant, and now you see a lot of activity, all these new businesses coming along, which I think are fantastic for the area. So there's some people who want to see this through and get this done. 2 of them that I know who are, in my opinion, pioneers, who paved the way along with city staff is former Mayor Trey Mendez and Ramiro Gonzalez, who have a genuine interest in downtown and beautifying and revitalizing downtown. So yeah, I commend the work that you're trying to do.
To me, that was kind of when we started a new phase downtown. It's when Dodici opened, then others followed. Any other questions?
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Next, we have items for individual consideration. We have a total of 8 items today. The first 7 are for the consideration and action to grant a subdivision waiver for Bent Tree 9 subdivision, Cisneros Gonzalez subdivision, La Troje subdivision, Ochoa Estates subdivision, Vega Estates subdivision, El Agostero Section 2 subdivision, and RNS subdivision, all of which are located within the extraterritorial jurisdiction of City of Brownsville from the, and they're requesting a waiver from the municipal plating process to be solely proceeding with Cameron County's jurisdiction. Item number 8 is a consideration and action to grant a special lighting permit for the upgrade of parking lot and illumination facilities for Sunrise Mall and the Sunrise Commons. And this one is located at 2370 Frontage Road, Brownsville, Texas, 78521.
So for the first 7 items, we will request a motion from the commission. The recommendation from staff is to approve the waivers.
I'll make a motion to approve as per staff's recommendation.
Second.
We have a first and a second motion. All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries for items 1 to 7.
All right, so for item number 8, this is the very first time that we do a special lighting permit. As per the UDC, the Planning and Zoning Commission has the authority to grant a special lighting permit similar to a specific use permit that is issued to a property. In this situation, the request is being submitted by both the Sunrise Mall and the Sunrise Commons. Again, the request is for a special lighting permit. The current zoning for the property is regional center. And the proposed use, which is already established, is big box retail, Sunrise Mall and the Sunrise Commons. And these properties are fronting North Expressway 77 and Pablo Quisel Boulevard. And the project scope is for the replacement of existing parking lot lighting fixtures. So to give you a little bit of background, the UDC review criteria states that the lighting within any business or any parking lot cannot exceed 3,000 kelvins, which kelvins, and we'll get to a slide showing you specifically what that is, but it means or measures the temperature or the color of the lighting. And the other subsection that we're looking at is the allowed total initial lumens per site or hardscaped area. And so the code only permits 5 lumens per square foot of hardscape. And we'll explain to you right now how we get to the calculation based on the area that is being, let's say, upgraded, or the size of the parking lot that will be upgraded in lighting fixtures. So as mentioned, the Planning and Zoning Commission may grant the permit upon review for a special lighting permit that basically, in this case, the request is to exceed the 3,000 Kelvin mark, which will mean that the temperature of the light or the color of the light will be a little bit wider or brighter than the threshold that's established by the UDC. So just to give you a little bit of technical background, the lumens basically measure the intensity or how bright light reflects off of a particular surface. And as you can see on the picture to the left, that is called lumens, basically what reflects off of the surface. And then to the right, you have the kelvins that measures the color of the light. In this particular situation, the developers or the managing staff of the mall and the Sunrise Commons, they're requesting fixtures that will have a color temperature of 5,700 kelvins. And if you look at the image to the right, you can see in the range that it would be between the 5,500 and the 6,000 mark. So it would be to a color similar to a white or light blue color compared to the 3,000 mark that the UDC establishes, which is a bit more warm and yellow, orange in
A
color.
lot brighter.
Right. And so this is the proposed lighting plan that was submitted by the developer or the managing body of this business. They will be replacing again 1,000 watt metal halide fixtures with LED fixtures producing up to 65,000 lumens each. The Sunrise Mall, in total, the hardscaped area of the parking lot is 57.3 acres. Proposed upgrade results in a total reduction of 49% in lumens and 74% in kilowatts. In the Sunrise Commons, the parking lot has a rough area of 14.9 acres. And the proposed upgrade will result in a total reduction of 71% in lumens and 87% in kilowatts. The upgrade will also provide an average of 2-foot candles of luminance on 2-foot candles of illuminance on the pavement surface in a cool white temperature of approximately 5,700 Kelvin, which is the main request that where they're exceeding that threshold. As for the luminance, they fall within the parameter. The UDC states no more than 5. They're actually proposing 2 lumens per square foot. All fixtures and optics will be aimed towards the parking surface. This is required by code, and they're complying with that in their report, preventing direct glare except when looking directly at fixtures. And also they will have, as per required by code, a NetLink dimming control system, which will be installed to control each pole separately. So at the time of closure, these poles will be dimmed down to about a 10% capacity. So the glare or the brightness of the lights won't be overbearing to surrounding businesses or properties. And this is an image that was provided as part of the study. And so this is the area at the Sunrise Mall where the fixtures are going to be replaced. This is the area at the Sunrise Commons, which is to give you more of an idea where Old Navy's at, Marshall's, Ross, et cetera.
So they're not replacing what's to the right in front of Hobby Lobby and all the way to where
No,
like
because they
Staples?
don't own those properties.
Okay.
And this is just basically a luminance image of what would be the existing and the resulting. And so the proposed upgrade, as mentioned, does exceed the amount of kelvins by 2,700 kelvins. Again, the threshold on the UDC is 3,000. They're proposing 5,700. And the illuminance of 2-foot candles or 2 lumens per square foot does comply with what the code states. And again, this is just another image so you have a good idea as to what that lighting would look like. And based on the proposal, staff does recommend the approval to grant the special lighting permit.
Are there any lit signs there?
Lit signs.
You know, the advertising signs that we have along the expressway? There's
Oh,
not
like-
any,
Like pylon signs advertising, let's say, a business?
the ones that are that
Well,
really light up.
there's pylon signs, for example, at the Sunrise Commons.
There's
There's
nothing over there, right?
well, there are signs for the stores, like Marshall's, Ross, and et cetera, and also for the mall.
No, I mean those big ones along the expressway.
Oh, you mean like a
that are
billboard?
lit.
A
Those
billboard?
Billboards.
No, there's none.
On the property? On the property or adjacent to the? mall?
Adjacent to that area. I was just.
Well, the closest one is on the corner of Pablo Quisel and Morrison at Galaxy Bowling.
Okay.
That's the only
Electronic?
What's that?
Electronic?
An electronic billboard.
Yeah, there's one right in the corner
Yeah,
of
there's one right there by.
802 and
and
right in front of the
Expressway.
mall. There's a little plaza. There's one right there.
Yeah, it's a huge one.
Right next to, by the Exxon and the,
Oh,
Okay, yes, but next to what used to be the Exxon.
but not on the mall property.
No, not on the mall property.
Martin, they, why the increase? Why do they want to go to 5,000? What,
Well, yes. They can provide additional questions, but as per the report, it was basically to enhance security at night, just provide a little bit or better illumination. And there's just a different type of light. One, it's a halide-based light, and this one's going to be LED. And so there's that difference in illumination.
I can
Do you
see
have
that
any-
it would add to security in that area.
I'm guessing those cut costs as well, right? Energy?
What was that?
The energy costs, the LEDs are more energy efficient.
Good afternoon. I'm Veronica Baca Martinez, Marketing Director for Sunrise Mall. Thank you so much for allowing us to be here and for requesting the support behind this upgrade that Sunrise Mall is doing through CBL, our company. We've done about 23 properties using these LED systems. And, I think the bottom line is it's aesthetic, it's the safety for our shoppers. Those are the two main reasons behind it. I think he covered all the technical issues. But this again is reducing the lumens, the hotspots because of that technology behind the LEDs. So yeah. I don't know if y'all
Do you have any
questions.
questions for her? Thank you.
Thank you.
Make a motion to close public hearing.
second?
We have a first and a second motion to close public hearing. All those in favor?
All right.
All those opposed? Commission have any other questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
So move. So move to approve.
We have a first and a second motion. All those in favor? Aye.
All right.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Next, we move to public hearings. We have a total of 8 items today. The first item is for a public hearing and action and ordinance number 235-2025-002, and this is to rezone from agricultural to regional center to allow storage facilities or small warehouses for a 4.75 acre tract of land, more or less out of 47.51 acres out of 216.04 acre tract, Share 1, Espiritu Santo Grant, Cameron County, Texas, located at 1 New Carmen Avenue, Brownsville, Texas, 78575.
So this request is to upzone from agriculture to regional center. The proposed use is storage facilities or small warehouses with storefronts. The property owner is the same owner as, just to give you a bit of reference, where Tesla's located. So they're looking to build something similar, where it has like a warehouse component, but also a storefront. This is actually the second phase of the project. In November, the first phase of the property was annexed and the rezoning was approved by both the Planning and Zoning Commission and the City Commission. The property fronts New Carmen Avenue. This is a 200-foot buffer map. There were 64 mailouts and 0 written opposition. And as mentioned, all along the strip, that's what the developer intends to establish to front New Carmen Avenue. This is the zoning map. And as you can see, there's residential single family to the east, agriculture as well to the east, and residential estate to the southwest. And the request is consistent with the comprehensive plan and future land use plan. Staff does recommend the approval to rezone from agriculture to regional center.
While we truly appreciate the information that we're getting, I would like to ask that we get one aerial that's kind of zoomed out because
Okay.
it's hard to figure out. I'm familiar with the area, but it's hard to figure out exactly where it is.
Sure.
So these are going to be not really storage facilities, but more showroom warehouse.
To that extent, yes. Like, is it similar to what is established along the expressway?
Yeah, they're basically storefronts with the warehouse.
Can we put up? I can get my microphone.
So this is north of 281 and
Yes,
it's west
north of
of the high
281.
school.
Can we put Google Earth?
Would we be able to put Google Earth on?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a public hearing. If there's anyone that would like to address this issue, if you would come forward. The developer isn't here, right?
No.
Yes, it's on 281. On the north side, but west of the
Is
high
that-
school.
Just Veterans High School.
There's no one to speak on this. I need a motion to close public hearing.
I'll make a motion to close public hearing.
We have a first and a second motion to close public hearing. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Does the commission have any other questions? You understand where it's at? Much better, thank you.
So they're gonna be where?
Mm-hmm.
Martin, do you know, since they're gonna be warehouses, what they'll be storing in there? Ballpark?
They're going to
Dry
be more
goods.
retail, I think.
Yes, it's retail oriented because the regional center only allows commercial. They won't even be able to store warehouse material.
Thank you.
So it doesn't front 281, it's north of 280.
North of 281, fronting New Carmen.
And so their access comes from New Carmen.
Yes.
Can you go back to the other map, not this one? The one you set up, the one that one right there.
The presentation.
That one right there. So this is retail warehouse type of a structure, but stores.
Right.
No feedback?
What's that?
No feedback from anybody?
No.
Any further questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
So move, to rezone to regional RC.
I second it. We have a first and a second motion to approve. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
We move to item number 2. This is a public hearing and action on ordinance number 235-2025-015 to rezone from commercial corridor to residential single family to allow a single family residence for lot C1, Block 1, Rancho Simpatico subdivision, Cameron County, Texas, located at 9275 US Highway 281, Brownsville, Texas 78520.
So this request is actually a downzone from commercial corridor down to residential single family. The proposed use is a single family residence, and it is fronting US Highway 281. This is a 200-foot buffer map. There were 15 mailouts and 0 written opposition. And the polygon in red is the subject property that's undergoing the zoning change. And as you can see, this is the zoning map. There's commercial corridor within the area, or specifically along US Highway 281. There's residential single family to the southwest and agriculture to the west. We also have the ETJ to the east. Now, this particular property is also part of this single family subdivision. However, when it was designed, the larger lots along the frontage were originally destined to be commercial lots. However, the area has, well, developed into primarily single family residences with a few businesses scattered throughout. And so staff does recommend the approval to downzone from commercial corridor to residential single family.
So there is a commercial property on the north and the south of this.
There's a single family home to the north and there's a commercial property to the south. And across the street or across US Highway 281, the majority is single family.
And so they're wanting to build a home there.
That is correct.
And how big is that lot?
That lot is 0.98 acres.
Quite a. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the public hearing. If there's anyone in the public that would like to address this issue, if you would come forward.
So move to close public hearing.
Second that.
We have a first and a second motion to close the public hearing. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Commission have any other questions? Not, I will entertain a motion.
So move to rezone from commercial corridor to residential single family.
I'll second that.
We have a first and a second motion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 3 is a public hearing and action on ordinance number 235-2025-016 to rezone from residential estate to residential transition to allow multifamily development for a 5.85 acre tract of land, more or less, out of lots 9 and 10, block 308, El Jardín re-subdivision, Share 10, Espiritu Santo Grant, Cameron County, Texas, located at 1000 Medford Avenue, Brownsville, Texas, 78521.
The request for this property is to upzone from residential estate to residential transition to accommodate a multifamily development. The property is fronting Medford Avenue. This is a 200-foot buffer map. There were 15 mailouts and 0 written opposition. And from this image down to the south of Medford, there are several duplexes, there are several multifamily developments on each of these lots. Actually, for this particular property, it's phase 2 of an already existing subdivision that was rezoned back in 2023 for a multifamily development. And you can see the reflection of that rezoning to the east, which is already zoned R3. To the north, we also have regional center and light industrial. And we have residential estate to the south.
Can you go
And-
back to that?
Sure.
So what's highlighted with the little hashes, that is the property line?
Yes. Yes, that was the remainder as they were subdividing this. It used to be, let's say, an overall parcel. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it was a quite large parcel of about 15 acres. And they had been subdivided slowly to give off to siblings or family members. And this was a remnant of it. And so this is what came about. It's about 5.85 acres. It really doesn't have much of available area for building. Most of it is a dry resaca bed. So it's the area where they could potentially build is to an extent limited. They won't be, it's not going to be an overall development with a very high density, to put it that way, because of the available area to build. However, that's what the developer intends to do.
Just because that Resaca's bed is dry now doesn't mean it's always going to be dry.
Right, so they're not gonna build within the Resaca bed. We just point out that the net available area is not,
Much less than
is
that.
much less than the 5.85 acres.
So you said this was phase two. Where is phase one? I mean, have they already constructed phase one?
No, so the development or the subdivision, the original subdivision was called Renteria Family Subdivision. They owned all the way to where the R3 is at, or actually even further. And they had been, like I said, subdividing slowly, piece by piece. And so this was, again, the remnant of that, those previous subdivisions.
So realistically, where on this property can they build?
Towards the back where you see the long access and then where it opens up, that's a portion right there, and there's also, the portion by where the RE is shown.
So is that a drainage ditch that goes through there, or what is that?
It's possibly a drainage ditch, yes.
So that's going to even, yeah, that'll be less usable land, buildable land, because there's easements along that drain ditch. And they're usually 100 feet. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a public hearing. If there's anyone in the public that would like to address this issue, if you'd come forward.
So move to close public hearing.
We have a first and a second motion to close public hearing. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. Does the commission have additional questions?
What was the purpose of the zoning change? The
To allow multifamily development.
multi- okay. Make a motion to approve as per staff's recommendation.
I second. We have a first and a second motion. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 4 is a public hearing and action on ordinance number 235-2025-017-S. This is a request for a special use permit in a regional center zoning designation to allow a used car lot for a 0.774 acre tract of land out of a certain 4.751 acre tract of land of Block 1, Amelia Subdivision, Share 12, Espiritu Santo Grant, Cameron County, Texas, located at 6738 North Frontage Road, Bronzeville, Texas, 78575.
So as mentioned, the proposed uses for used car lots. The current zoning of the property is regional center, but as per the UDC, prior to a text amendment, which we will expand on shortly, it required a specific use permit. This property is fronting North Frontage Road of the expressway. And just to provide some history, this application actually started since November 1st of 2024. The application or the lessee, the person who leased out the property, or the 0.7 acres out of the original parent tract, they made their first attempt to submit an application on November 1st of last year. The application was incomplete and was tied to an incorrect parcel. At that point in time, they were notified by staff that the application was incomplete. They were provided a detailed list of deficiencies, and they were notified that they had to correct the record because it was not tied to the correct parcel. It was actually a different property. After that, they made a second attempt to submit a rezoning application, possibly to try and correct that tie or incorrect tie to a different parcel. and that was on November 20th of 2024. At that time, the application was once again incomplete, and staff sent out a list of deficiencies or documents that were pending for this application. Following this event, the application remained dormant. There was no activity afterwards. And from that time until March 4th, 2025, City Commission, as well as Planning and Zoning Commission, adopted a text amendment to the UDC, which restricts used car lots to Padre Island Highway and Southmost Boulevard. Following this approval of the text amendment, the applicant decided to make a third attempt to submit the application. And on June 24th, the application was opened and was still incomplete. Once again, they were notified that it was incomplete, but the only difference now was that there is a text amendment that prohibits that location to harbor a used car lot. On July 28th, 2025, the application was completed, and as per the advice of our legal department, they instructed us to still bring it forward so that a formal denial could be provided. This is the 200-foot buffer map. There were 2 mailouts and 0 in opposition. This is the zoning map. It's what predominates in the area is regional center. There's also residential estates to the east, residential single family and light industrial to the west. And this is the proposed area that was intended to be used as a car lot, used car lot.
This is just south of the sports park.
Yes, ma'am. And so staff recommended the denial of the specific use permit based on the fact that there's a text amendment in place and no longer allows. However, we still included the typical conditions as we have before in the event that the commission decides to consider allowing it to move forward. Any questions?
Personally, I have a concern about unloading of inventory within the property because across the expressway, there's a used car lot that's been there a number of years and they don't unload on their property. They're doing it on the frontage road. And that area's very busy. I catch them doing that all the time. I don't know how we could monitor that. We don't have the personnel to do that. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a public hearing. If there's anyone in the audience that would like to address this issue, if you would come forward.
So move to close public hearing.
Second.
We have a first and a second to close public hearing. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Make a motion to deny as per staff recommendation.
Second.
We have a first and a second motion. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. I feel for the applicant. I know they put a lot of effort into this.
Next, item number 5 is a public hearing and action on ordinance number 235-2025-018-S to request a special use permit in a regional center zoning designation to allow an outdoor event center party place for Lot 4, Block 1, Ernesto Cortez subdivision, Cameron County, Texas, located at 290 FM 511, Brownsville, Texas 78575.
So the current zoning of this property is regional center, and as per the UDC, for an outdoor event center or party place, a specific use permit is required, specifically to condition the property or the development to mitigate any escaping noise or sound generated by the use. The property is fronting FM 511. This is the 200-foot buffer map. There were 7 mailouts and 0 written opposition. And this is a zoning map. What predominates in the area is regional center. And to the south, we have residential transition. And as you can see, there is a multifamily development to the south. There are some single-family homes that are a little bit further away or outside of the image, but regardless, it's within the vicinity. This is the proposed site plan. The majority of it is, or of the proposed business is going to be outdoor, picnic style tables, bounce houses in the center, and bathrooms to the north side of the
So
property.
similar to a food park?
Similar without the food truck component, let's say.
So it's just outdoor activities, no food.
Well, it's an event center. They're gonna be able to
Cater.
bring in food, cater, have music, etc. And so staff recommends the denial for the specific use permit to allow an outdoor event center and regional center. However, if approved, we do have to mention the conditions to which the property will be subject to. And so basically they have to mitigate the sound, and they cannot let a certain amount of decibels, in this case 60 decibels, escape from the property line. So because it's an outdoor event hall, it's very difficult. However, if they have a way to mitigate, they can propose it. And if approved by the Planning and Zoning Commission and the City Commission, at the time of site review, staff would also have to review that method of mitigation to make sure that it's compliant, and obviously follow up with monitoring.
Can you go back to the photo, please? Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a public hearing. If there's anyone in the audience that would like to address this case, if you'll come forward.
So move to close public hearing.
We have a first and a second motion to close public hearing. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. Do we have any questions, commissioners? So this is closer to the expressway and just east of 803, I believe.
Correct. The animal shelter is to the east and the stripes is to the west.
And that is a big apartment complex there. What is the wish of the commission?
So move to deny the request due to the sound, close proximity to a neighborhood, because at night they can't control it. So move to deny.
Second.
We have a first and a second motion. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Madam Chair,
Yes, sir.
I oppose the motion.
I'm sorry.
I'm against.
Okay. Let the record show that Mr. Obel opposed.
Next, item number 6 is a public hearing and action on ordinance number 235-2025-019 to rezone from agriculture to residential single-family to allow a single-family subdivision for 10.12 acres out of Block 174 El Jardín subdivision, Share 27, Espiritu Santo Grant, Cameron County, Texas, located at 2915 Smith Road, Brownsville, Texas, 78526.
So this request is for a single-family subdivision. The current zoning is agriculture. Their request is to upzone to residential single-family. The property is fronting Smith Road. This is the 200-foot buffer map. There were 23 mailouts and 0 written opposition. This property was actually annexed into the city back in 2024. And whenever it was annexed, or whenever any property is annexed, the automatic zoning that it comes with is agriculture. So agriculture zoning has a very low density. So the subdivision that they're proposing and that they're actually done building out, well, it does not comply with that density requirement that agriculture has. Therefore, residential single family is required to be able to carry out both the use and the proposed density.
You said that it's already been built out,
Yes, yeah.
like streets and utilities?
Yes, it's it's 10 lots in 12 lots in total. It's just one street. It's called Magnolia Estates. They built it out. The developer proceeded against staff's advice. They decided to move forward with the subdivision prior to rezoning. Therefore, they're requesting.
So when they did that, was it part of the county or had already been annexed into the
It
city?
had already been annexed into the city.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is public hearing. If there's anyone in the audience that'd like to address this case, if you'll come forward.
Make a motion to close public hearing?
We have a first and a second motion to close public hearing. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. Do we have additional questions?
So it's already, they already put the road and everything, you said, correct?
Yes, that is correct. It's completely finished, and it's been accepted by the city as well.
It's already been accepted by the city.
What's that?
So it's already been accepted by the city?
The subdivision. So basically, when we say accepted by the city, it means that the city has accepted the infrastructure as public, and therefore the city takes over to maintain from the point of recording on.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I have a comment.
Oh, just kidding.
I'm sorry. Have we run into cases like this before where a developer will go against the wishes of planning and zoning?
Unfortunately, there's nothing in the code that prevents them from, because they're two separate requirements. Zoning is not subject to platting, and platting is not subject to rezoning. We always tell them, and we always provide comments whenever there's the subdivision process. We let them know ahead of time if a property needs to be rezoned. Sometimes they'll move forward because, especially with single-family residential subdivisions, they'll move forward because, let's say they're in a time crunch. They'll move forward because they feel confident that because it's a very non-invasive use, or it's a single-family residential subdivision is probably the least invasive use in the zoning book, they feel confident and they just move forward with the subdivision.
So legally, the developer could go forward.
Right, right. But
And what would happen if we denied his zoning change?
so they would have to basically amend the property or the subdivision to comply with the density. So instead of having, let's say, 20,000 square foot lots, they would need 1 acre lots. And so half of their lots would be eliminated, hypothetically.
Well, I certainly wouldn't want to see developers doing this over and over again.
It's very rare. This is the second time in my tenure here, but sometimes it happens.
So it's rare.
What's that?
It's rare.
It's very rare. And sometimes they don't do it, out of,
Maliciously.
yeah,
Right.
it's just that they're not very savvy or they're first-time developers and it just slips.
This is not a first-time
However-
developer.
However, I think it brings up a good point that it's frequent because in other cities it's not allowed altogether. So we may want to revisit the UDC on this point, not allowing plating to be recorded prior to zoning. So, yeah.
Any further questions?
Second.
We have a first and a second motion to approve. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. What can you do?
I know. I just don't want to see this become habit. We have rules and regulations in place for a reason. Aye. Those opposed? Do we have enough? Okay. All right. Motion carries.
Next is to item number 7 for a public hearing and action on ordinance number 235-2025-020 to rezone from a residential transition to a commercial corridor to allow a commercial plaza for a 5.81 acre tract of land comprised of a 2.33 acre tract of land out of Block 5, RB Renfro subdivision, and a 3.48 acre tract of land out of a 5.90 acre tract of land out of an 8 acre tract conveyed to F.W. Wheeler, Cameron County, Texas, located at West Ruben M. Torres Boulevard, Brownsville, Texas, 78520.
So the current zoning for this property is residential transition, R3. The request is to upzone to commercial corridor for the proposed use of a commercial plaza. The property is fronting West Ruben Torres Boulevard. And actually, this property is a remnant of a recent subdivision that was created for a multifamily development. You probably recall the rezoning that we did and the subdivision. This is a 200-foot buffer map. There were 28 mailouts and 0 written opposition. And as mentioned, they would like to establish a commercial plaza on the buildable area of this property. This is the zoning map. There's a mixture of zoning. There's residential transition, residential single family to the north, commercial corridor to the south, and residential suburban to the southeast. And staff recommends the approval to rezone from residential transition to commercial corridor.
Can you go back to the previous? So I'm glad to see that this property is going to get developed. It's been vacant for a long time. But I know it had a lot of easements. So where is his buildable area?
Well, based on the survey that has been submitted, there weren't many easements.
Okay.
They're mainly, I would say they haven't proposed a site plan,
Okay.
but most of the buildable areas toward the corner, the main corner of Laredo and Ruben Torres. There is a pretty high bank on the west side of the property. So approximately where that black line shows within the red polygon, that would be the approximate location of the high bank. So I would say that would be a logical limit.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a public hearing. If there's anyone in the audience that would like to address this case, if you'll come forward.
So move to close public hearing.
I second.
We have a first and a second motion to close public hearing. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Martin, quick question. Is, the whole property R3 where it says, is it the same owner or is it different owners?
It used to be the same owner, and the owner that is rezoning this property, they sold to Madhouse Development, who is the developer doing the multifamily development on the northern portion, which is gonna be senior living.
They were well into that
Yes.
development.
So everything that's on the hashes, that is the new property line for this rezoning only, correct?
Yeah, so everything that's within the red polygon and hatched, that's what's being rezoned.
Any other questions?
Okay, so move to accept the rezoning from R3 to commercial corridor.
A second.
We have a first and a second motion to approve. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
We move to our last public hearings item today, item number 8. This is a public hearing and action on ordinance number 235-2025-021 to rezone from light industrial to residential transition to allow multifamily development apartments for Lot 3, AA Bronzeville LTD subdivision, Cameron County, Texas, located at 15 Sam Pearl Boulevard, 78520.
So, this, property is currently zoned light industrial. Once we move forward to the next slide, you will probably remember that it was rezoned to light industrial in February. So the developer has apparently changed his mind based on development trend in the area. And so they're, again, trying to go from light industrial to residential transition to establish a multifamily development. This is a 200-foot buffer map. There were 39 mailouts and 0 written opposition. And there's a single-family subdivision to the northwest. Everything else is commercial development. This is the zoning map to the north. Again, there's traditional neighborhood mixed use, and regional center along Sam Pearl. Staff recommends the approval to rezone from light industrial to residential transition. And just to provide some additional feedback or reference, the reason why staff is providing or recommending approval is based on the proposed development or future development or improvements along this corridor, which a multifamily development would be more in tune with than what is existing at the moment, which is export vehicle facilities.
Right. Which is basically what's next door.
Yes. So hopefully slowly these uses will start moving away.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a public hearing. If there's anyone in the audience that would like to address this issue, if you would come forward.
Make a motion to close public hearing.
Second.
We have a first and a second motion to close public hearing. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Commissioners, do you have additional questions?
I'll make a motion to approve as per staff recommendation.
Second.
We have a first and a second motion to approve. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries.
This concludes our public hearings. Next, we move to one item for board discussion. And this is for the consideration and action to adopt a Planning and Zoning Commission's official calendar for October of 2025 through September of 2026.
So this is the proposed calendar. The meetings remain the same, first Thursday of the month. There are, or could be, some variations on months that have holidays at the beginning of the month. So like January or July. So, in this case, compared to this year, well, this year on July, we had to move it by 1 week, but in this next calendar year, the holiday is closer, at the beginning, where it's at the beginning of the following week to where we can still have the meeting. So, any questions?
I make a motion to approve.
We have a first and a second motion to approve the calendar as stated. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries.
We'll move to adjourn.
Second. Third.
7:04, meeting is adjourned.
All for second.
Thank you.
Thank you, staff.